We found a new material, guys. It's really nice. Learning by doing. Sige. Tapos true, false, not giving chat, tsaka matching headings. Whoa! Winner! Sige. Ayan, time is running. So, Alisa, nakita mo yon yung nasa taas?
Andiyan ang si BK, sir, oh.
Ayan na si BK. Si BK na ba gagawa?
Oo. Sus ko lang ako dito.
Talagang binugaw mo si BK. Ha? BK, ikaw daw gagawa. BK.
Sir?
Beverly Kim. Ikaw daw gagawa. Ipapasa sa inyo yung hosting.
Hala ka, kahit kayo na, sir. Baka umalis kami. Pumasok
kita
lang
mo,
ako.
Yun.
Habang nalilip.
Kanya-kanyang rason yan eh. No? Kahit ano, wag lang gagawa.
Kasi pa-participate ako, guguluhin ko utak niyo.
Sige.
Sige
BK, magaling yan. So question 1 to 4, guys, which paragraph contains the following information? So skip natin yan, guys. No? Tapos 5 to 8, true, false, not given. Pwede natin unahin yan, pero mamaya na siguro. 9 to 13, ayan o, mga ano lang. Wow, ganyan talagang IELTS, no? May madali, may mahirap. Ito yung madali, dito tayo sa madali. No? Ganun lang, Alisa. Takbo tayo doon. Nutcracker, nakita niyo yun? While the nutcracker is more able to cache seeds, the J relies, ayun. So hanapin natin yung nutcracker at saka yung, parang mga ano sila. What are those, guys? Yung nutcracker at saka J. What do you think those are?
What are those?
What are those, guys?
Birds.
Birds. Ayun, maghanap tayo ng birds.
Birds, where are you?
Where are you, nutcracker tsaka J?
Sa baba na, sir.
Nasa baba na, kasi nasa baba na rin yung tanong eh. Yan! Okay yung cursor mo. Ano ba yung cursor mo? Ano bang figure yan?
Ano yan, sir? Adventure Time. Si Jake.
Okay, whatever.
It's
Sige,
a cartoon.
I will read. Basahin natin yung buong paragraph, guys. A paper in 1996, Animal Behavior by Bednikov and Baida, provides a different view of the adaptiveness of social learning. It concerns the seed-catching behavior of Clark's nutcracker and the Mexican jay. The former is a specialist caching 30,000 or so seeds in scattered locations that it will recover over the months of winter. The Mexican jay will also cache food, but is much less dependent upon this than the nutcracker. The two species also differ in their social structure, the nutcracker being rather solitary while the jay forages in social groups. Sige. What's the answer? Number 9, guys. Andun, nasa paragraph F. While the nutcracker is more able to cache seeds, the jay relies blank on catching food and is thus less specialized in the ability, but more ano ba yung 9? Andiyan lang yung sagot, guys. What's the answer? Parang yung 10 alam ko na.
Sir, ilang words?
One word only.
Ay, ayun pala pipili.
Ayun, nasa baba eh. More. Kita ko na. Social. Social yung 10. Tapos yung 9, nakita ko na rin, guys. Uy, mali. Social yung 10.
Social yung...
Got na daw, BK.
Ano yung 9?
Jay relies less on caching.
Sir, hindi ba social yung 9?
Hindi.
Rely? Saan ba sila nagre-rely?
Less.
Less nga, sir.
Less.
Yes.
Yung 9 is less. The J relies less on catching food and is thus less specialized in this ability. Andun, paki-highlight mo nga, Rain. Andun eh. That's our evidence. Your Honor.
But it is much less.
And the former is a specialist. Less dependent upon this than the nutcracker. Sige. To study their behavior of catching and finding their cache. An experiment was cache. Paano babasahin yung caches? An experiment was designed and carried out to test these two birds for their ability to remember where they hid the seeds. Basahin na natin. Uy, sagutin muna natin yung F. Nabasa na natin yung F, guys. Baka lumabas yun sa taas.
Wala, sir.
Wala, sir.
Wala. Okay. Baba tayo sa G. Sige, I will read last paragraph na siya again. The experiment is to discover not just whether a bird can remember where it hid a seed, but also if it can remember where it saw another bird hide a seed. Wow! The design is slightly comical with a catcher bird wandering about the room with lots of holes in the floor, hiding food in some of the holes, while watched by an observer bird perched in a cage. What? 2 days later, cachers and observers are tested for their discovery rate against an estimated random performance. In the role of cacher, not only the nutcracker but also the less specialized jay performed above chance. More surprisingly, however, jay observers were as successful as jay cachers, whereas nutcracker observers did no better than chance. Mas observant yung jay. It seems that whereas the nutcracker is highly adapted at remembering where it hid its own seeds, the social living Mexican jay is more adept at remembering and so exploiting the caches of others. Galing. Yun. Dapat ganun kayo, guys. Magaling kayo mangopya. Copying is the fastest way to learn. So in the experiment, the captured bird hid seeds in the ground while the other, what are the choices? What's the answer? I wanted to come from you. Nakita ko na. Yung isa, nagtatago ng seed. Yung isa, what? What's the answer? Uy, bilisan nyo. Wala, hindi nyo inintindi yung watched. Yung nandun lang siya sa cage, nanonood. As a result, the nutcracker and the Mexican jay showed different performance in the role of what? Cashier ba? Hindi cashier yung guys. What? Tingnan mo nasa dulong sentence. It seems that whereas the nutcracker is highly adapted at remembering where it hid its own seeds, the social living Mexican jay is more adept at remembering and so exploiting the caches of others. What?
Jay nutcracker.
The role of, tingnan mo yung nasa the sentence before that. In the role of cashier, not only the nutcracker but also the less specialized jay perform above chance. Cashier yun taga-tago. More surprisingly, however, jay observers were as successful as jay cashers, whereas nutcracker observers did no better than chance. Intindihan nyo ba? Parang yung nanonood lang yung isa, tapos nalalaman niya saan tinatago yung mga seeds, di ba? Nanonood lang siya, tapos nanakawin niya yung seeds. Di ba? So, they show different performance in the role of the... Go guys! Andun lang mamili kayo dun. Mas magaling daw ang J sa... What? Wala, tagal niyo sumagot, guys.
A1 siguro, pero in the rank of J.
Oh, it will not come from me. I will tell you if you're correct or not.
Observer.
Observer. Mas magaling yung J.
Server.
Mas
Yeah.
marites siya, marites. Marites time. The
Right.
observing blank didn't do as well as its counterpart.
Nutcracker.
Nutcracker. Okay, panis. So, hanapin na natin yung G, guys. Lumabas na ba yung G doon? Grabe, wala pa rin. Ano ba yan? Sige. Kainis, pinabasa tayo ng 2 paragraph. Wala naman lumabas. Doon tayo sa true, false, not given. The field trip to Israel was to investigate how black rats learn to strip pine cones. So, hanap tayo ng Israel. Yan. Okay, C. The research reported in one paper started with a school field trip to Israel to a pine forest where many pine cones were discovered, stripped to the central core. So the investigation started with no weighty theoretical intent, but was directed at finding out what was eating the nutritious pine seeds and how they managed to get them out of the cones. The culprit proved to be the versatile and athletic black rat. And the technique was to bite each cone scale off at its base in sequence from base to tip, following the spiral growth pattern of the cone. O, ano yung sagot? Nakita ko na yung sagot dun sa, sa first sentence. Oh. Ay, nasa second sentence. The investigation started with no weighty theoretical intent. But was directed at finding out what was eating the nutritious pine seeds.
Os.
Sa akin yun. Hindi naman nila alam na kung ano yung kumakain eh. Nalaman na lang nila nung dumating sila doon, di ba? Di ba? Hindi nila alam eh.
Yeah.
Di ba? Ayun had no weighty theoretical intent but was directed at finding out what was eating the nutritious pine seeds. Hindi nila alam. Kaya, mali yung 5, di ba? To investigate how black rats learn to strip pine. Hindi pa nga nila alam. Di ba? Okay.
False yun, sir.
False yun. Walang gusto sumagot. Oh. Ako lang sumasagot. Grabe sila. Oh. Eh,
Galing mo, sir.
Paano na lang kung namatay ako? Sino nasasagot?
Ako na, sir.
Si BK, oh.
Grabe sila, oh. O yun, lalabas na yung C. Akit tayo, guys. Basta every time we read a paragraph, akit tayo dun sa paragraph. Yun, finally.
Ito ba yan, sir?
Yun. Eh, bakit ako tinatanong nyo kayo sumagot kaya?
Sagot nga kayo.
Kaya, oy. Baguhin niyo yung boses nyo para hindi makakilala. Mga nahihiya mo pa kilala. The answer is on. Okay, baba ulit tayo sa true false not given. The pine cones were stripped from the bottom to top by black rats.
Bottom to top. Base to tip ba yan, sir?
Oh, base to tip. Dali naman yan. Wala na bang
Can
hihirap.
be learned from.
And then it can be learned from other relevant experiences to use a photocopier.
Saan na natin?
Nasaan na yung photocopier?
Nasa D, sir. Nasa D.
Oh?
Yan. O, basa tayo. Urban black rats were found to lack the skill and were unable to learn it even if housed with experienced cone strippers. However, infants of urban mothers fostered by stripper mothers acquired the skill. I see. Whereas infants of stripper mother fostered by an urban mother could not. I see. Kung lumaki ka sa urban, hindi ka marunong. Kung lumaki ka sa sa forest, matututo ka. So clearly, the skill had to be learned from the mother. Further elegant experiments showed that naive adults could develop the skill if they were provided with cones from which the first complete spiral of scales had been removed. What? Galing tinanggal yung first spiral of scales. Natututo sila just by that. Rather, like our new photocopier, which you can work out how to use once someone has shown you how to switch it on. In the case of rats, the youngers take cones away from the mother when she is still feeding on them, allowing them to acquire the complete stripping skills. So, it can be learned from other relevant experiences sa photocopy. Guys, napaka-obvious naman ang sagot. What? Ba yan? Not given and not given? Wala na bang dadali pa dyan? O di tayo. Yun na. Nakita ko na. Nakita ko na, BK. Bagal niya naman maganap.
Sandali na wala ako. Sorry.
Concentrate. Go.
Sagot ka daw, Ma'am BK.
BK, sumagot ka. Umandar yung oras mo.
Asan na ba tayo? Diyan, letter D. Alin
Hindi
dyan?
nakikinig. Ay, nako. BK, report to the principal's office.
Oh! Di ba to?
Stand in the corner ka, BK.
Ito.
Hindi ba to yan, sir?
Hindi, number 1.
Number 1 ba?
Sabi, manghuhula lang, oh. Number
Parang wala ko na batang.
Number 1, a comparison between rats learning and human learning. Yan, baba ulit tayo sa true, false, not given. Stripping the pine cones is an instinct of the black rats. Parang wala na bang dadali pa dyan. Good evening daw. Ibig sabihin ng instinct, guys, hindi na nila kailangan matutunan. No? Ano sagot doon? What's the answer? Huwag kayong sumagot. Instinct ba yun? Uy! Dahil sumagot ka nga. Okay, the rest of the people here are observers. Ganon. Reina, you are the cashier.
Observer.
Dali, obserbahan ka nila.
At ako.
Pero napaka-obvious, di ba? Instinct daw yon. Ibig sabihin ng instinct, guys, hindi nyo na kailangan matutunan. It's wired, no, into their brains. O, totoo ba yon?
False.
False yun.
False nga.
Ayun na
Kasi and we're unable to learn it even if the house with experience cone strippers.
Oo nga, first sentence, urban black rats were found to
Acquired pa.
skill. Oh. Di ba? Ay, naku, wala
Oh, siya.
namang dadali pa dyan. My God. Okay. Sige. Dun tayo sa, hanapin na natin yung earliest study in animal learning, number 2, at saka cost-effectiveness experiments. Maghanap tayo ng cost-effectiveness, guys. Cost-effectiveness.
Kaya pinipin, on social learning.
Paano yung reference to the early study in animal learning? Baka nasa A, guys. Basahin natin yung A, mabilis. Learning theory is rooted in the work of Ivan Pavlov. Behaviorism to, guys. The famous scientist who discovered and documented the principles governing how animals, humans included, learn in the 1900s. Two basic kinds of learning or conditioning occur, one of which is famously known as the classical conditioning. Classical conditioning happens when an animal learns to associate a neutral stimulus or signal with a stimulus that has intrinsic meaning based on how closely in time the stimuli are presented. The classic example of classical conditioning is a dog's ability to associate the sound of a bell, something that originally has no meaning to the dog, with the presentation of food, something that has a lot of meaning to the dog. A few moments later, dogs are able to learn the association between bell and food and will salivate immediately after hearing the bell once this connection has been made. Years of learning research have led to the creation of highly precise learning theory that can be used to understand and predict how and under what circumstances any animal will learn, including and eventually yon. So, earliest ba yon?
Excuse me.
Why?
Wala naman. But it's about animal learning.
Wala earliest.
Pa nasa baba. Charot.
Learn in the 1900s.
Sige, basahin natin yung B. Role models are a popular notion for guiding child development, but in recent years, very interesting research has been done on learning by examples in other animals. If the subject of animal learning is taught very much in terms of classical or operant conditioning, it places too much emphasis on how we allow animals to learn and not enough on how they are equipped to learn. Ayun. So to teach a course of mine, I have been dipping profitably into a very interesting and accessible compilation of papers on social learnings in animals, including chips and human children, edited by Ace and Caleb. Social learning. Okay. Parang basahin natin yung the rest, guys. Nasaan yung cost effectiveness? A good example of adaptive bearing, we might conclude, but let's see the economies. Ayun na! This was determined by measuring oxygen uptake of a rat stripping a cone in a metabolic chamber to calculate energetic cost and comparing it with the benefit of the pine seeds measured by calorimeter. The cost proved to be less than 10% of the energetic value of the cone. An acceptable profit margin. Yun na yun. E.
Four.
Yun. Tapos yung earliest study, yun. Wala
A.
na earliest. Kasi 1900s pa si Pavlov eh. Wala. A lang.
Sir.
Wala na bang earliest?
Hmm.
Marin, can you try to find? Wala, no? A talaga. Napakadali naman nun. A.
Learn in 1900s.
Okay,
Kailangan sir, double check.
23 minutes. Our target, guys, is 20 minutes. Yun na talaga. Wala eh. Yun, social learning. That's why we need to do bubbles as a group, di ba? O may mga observers dyan, meron mga cachers. O tayo yung cachers, sila yung observers. O are you nutcrackers or are you jays? Ay! Sige, check na natin. Perfect na naman yan. Band 9 na naman, nakakainis. Yaw! Lagi na lang 8.5. Lagi na lang ako nagkakamali ng isa. Ay, kayo pala.
True.
Bakit not given? Bakit true?
8.5.
Saan tayo nagkamali?
Yun, sir. 7.
Basta guys, every time we make a mistake, we always go back to it, ano? It can be learned from other relevant experiences to use a photo. Ay, my God.
You can work out how
Oo nga, hindi ko siya, na-misunderstand ko siya. From other relevant experiences, yun yung you can work out use once someone has shown you how to switch it on. Oh my God. Damn.
Okay.
Ah. Damn.
So, walang not given na sagot, sir.
Yung not given ang sagot, hindi ganyan ang Cambridge.
Yeah, hindi naman talaga.
I see.
Anyways.
Guys, alam niyo ang behaviorism na yan, that doesn't work anymore for human beings. Just be aware. Kasi human beings, they learn from, alam mo yung system of reward and punishment, di ba? Di ba? Yun, pero it has long been proven that human beings have the innate capacity for determining good or evil. Yun. Tapos, pagka halimbawa may ginawang masama, di ba? Hindi parang feeling niya dapat harsh yung punishment, di ba? Correct. Para hindi maulit, di ba? That is behaviorism eh. Kaya lang what the decades have shown is that human beings are really very different creatures. Pag harsh yung punishment mo, instead of teaching that human being to avoid the act, lalo pa niyang gagawin at galit pa yun. May anger na yun, may anger component na yun. Hindi ganun kasimple yun. It can work for animals, but not for human beings. Kaya behaviorism, it's really dead as a legitimate field of inquiry in psychology. Delikado yung behaviorism, yung pinapalo mo yung bata, kala mo ganun ang kadali yun. May ano yun, there is a unintended consequence of that. Diba? Hindi naman tayo mga hayop eh. We are intelligent beings. Ganun. So, halimbawa, we are treated harshly. Ayun na, BK, yung mga serial killers na pinapanood mo parate. Diba? They came from very harsh childhood eh. Ganun. As they grow up, they become, they manifest the trauma from their childhood. Nagiging killers sila. Ganun. Hindi sila bumabait, no? In fact, the opposite. It results in an opposite reaction. Parang ganun. Yun. Kaya we have to be careful with attaching behaviorist principles to human behavior. Do you follow, people? So,
Yes, sir.
time. Ganun, guys. Yan. Okay, screenshot sent to me. And then we'll stop the recording. I like to use this. Ay, somebody chatted. Okay, wala na pala si BK. Okay. Kaya pala hindi sumasagot. Wait, I'll stop the recording.